Ah, what a beautiful day in Minecraft. I've just added some new mods and... yeah, I broke Minecraft. I really broke Minecraft. Nothing is rendering in at all. This is why Grian and computers don't go. Hello, my name is Grian, and as you can see in the background, things have escalated. Look at what Iscal's done, and I'm now contending with two. Well, it looks like he's at the top, then Scar's in second place, and I'm in third, and then there's Mumbo all the way over here in last place. This cannot continue. This needs rectifying, and I have a plan. And you may have noticed that at the start of the video, I showed you the footage of what it was like trying to get some mods to work. Well, I have managed to get those mods to work, as you'll see a little bit later on. However, I need to take you through an action plan. I've gathered lots of wood. This should be enough. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We're going to continue building our house upwards, just taller than this, or maybe even just short of this. And we're going to use Scar's weapon against Iscal. The same thing that knocked off the top of my base, I'm going to redirect at the top of Iscal's. At the same time, I'm going to build my base up, and in the same move, I'm going to fire a catapult all the way over here to land on Scar's house here. We need to make a big play because we're actually falling a little bit behind in this race. And we need to make sure that we remain on top. Although, having said that, I'm not sure how much bigger this house can get. It already looks like it's going to topple over at any moment. And I've got to say, this is probably one of the most fun builds that I've ever had to do. And I saw a lot of people asking for a tutorial. I'm not even sure I can give a tutorial on this. This is straight from the heart. I don't know. I haven't been following any instructions. This would be difficult to put in a tutorial form. I mean, I could try. I just don't know if I could do it. Another thing that I've been enjoying quite a lot is the fact that I've actually still got the Sahara opening music on this jukebox. It's still like attached to my resource pack. So I've been like running around. I've been following people that still have the resource, like Mumbo and Iscal, and I've just been playing the song like this. Introducing Grian's house on top of the Sahara build off. It works. It works really well. So maybe we'll do that. When this is all finished, maybe we'll play the song. This is gonna come in useful. I can feel it. This disc is going. Where did it go? Oh, thank you, lag. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this music disc. But for now, it's time to do a really long time lapse to make this play a reality. We're going up, we're firing over, and we're taking down, all in one move. Let's go. And my time-lapsing ability has improved because the replay mod has updated, so I'm going to be using that as much as possible from now on. So, what are we doing here? We are, of course, starting off by building up the house taller than Iscal's. I was going to make it slightly shorter, but then I thought, this is a real build-off. I might as well go as high as I feel comfortable with. Now, every time I make this house a little bit taller, I always wonder exactly how I'm going to do it, because the whole thing looks like you could just poke it and it'd all fall over. The key for building this kind of house is balance, and explaining balance in terms of Minecraft building is quite difficult. So one of the things I had a lot of trouble with on this particular build is that tower on the right. It doesn't look quite right, and I will edit a lot of this after this time lapse itself. I do a lot of editing just as I see things that I don't quite like. I'll just pick it apart, move a few bits, etc. I do want multiple towers on this build, but I couldn't quite get it to work, and the reason is it was a 2x2 area. So you'll see me edit that a whole bunch, and I still didn't get it looking quite nice. But the tallest part was that main tower there. That seems to be my go-to for the tallest part of the build-off house that I've got going. This house needs a name. It doesn't have any kind of name whatsoever. This style is fantastic. It's like a fantasy style build, And I'm not quite sure how you would go about making this. It's just lots of rectangles placed over each other, layer by layer, and it's kind of difficult to explain. The key thing is that everything looks like it's supported, even though you don't need to in Minecraft. You could just have them free hanging or even just floating. It makes no difference. But the key is having everything look like it needs each other, if that makes sense. Then I went ahead and detailed this at the same time. Previously, in the other Hermitcraft videos, I haven't done the detailing in the same episode that I built it, but I thought since I had the replay mod, it would be a lot easier to do that. So this did take a little bit of time, but it mainly involves flying around and trying to get on the right spot, adding some staircases, some grass to put some flowers in, and then lots and lots of windows and a few lanterns hanging here or there. And then by the time that all those details were added, we're left with this build, which when you take a look around, looks exactly like every other part of the build so far, but now it's a little bit taller than everyone else's base, and it definitely looks like it's gonna fall over. Part 1 of my 3-part plan is complete. We have successfully built this much taller than the other buildings. And we are at a Y coordinate of 190. Well, 190.5. That was a really slick landing on here. It's really difficult to do that. So we are officially on top of the build-off. But like I said, that was just part 1. We're not finished yet. And I've got to admit, every time I jump off this building, it's a really, really long dive. Compared to where it was right at the start of this build-off, this is quite a... Oh, it's quite a fall. Well, I did right-click. I swear I right-clicked that. I mean, predictable. Nonetheless, predictable. The house is too tall, mate. Yeah, it's, because there's quite a lot of people online at the moment. It was a little bit laggy. Come on. There we go. So let's do that again. Right, there we go. That's what I was trying to do, but the right click just didn't seem to respond. Anyway, so part 1 of my 3-part plan is complete. The next part is to retaliate, because Scar has gone ahead and built a giant laser that's blasted into my building, and as you can see, I haven't got rid of the laser. I haven't even turned it off, because it's not really touching the build at the moment, but I've got a plan, and it's going to be absolutely genius. So we're going to do something for part 3 with this laser, but part 2 is retaliating against Scar, because Iskall then came in, so let's take care of part 2 first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to knock off the top of his build, which appears to be the flower here, and I actually saw, I had plans for this a long time ago, but I saw in the comments a lot of you had the same idea as me, which is to build a giant catapult. We're going to build a catapult as part of our base or house, and we're going to launch a rock all the way over, and it's going to land right on that flower, squishing it, bringing it right down, and being shorter, and then the laser will be the top part, just so Scar knows that we can fight back. It may not be with giant space lasers, because my build is definitely something from a fantasy novel, but it does mean I can still fight back. Now, what I need to do is find a place on my house, somehow, somewhere to put a giant catapult. I feel like my house could topple over at any minute. I've got to be careful where I put this catapult. It doesn't have to be massive, well, it could be a small catapult launching a big rock. Maybe somewhere here could be good, but then I don't want to block the chimney. This is a very delicate operation. I know I make it look easy with just building part on part on part, but it's not. It's really a delicate balance trying to get this house to look like it could actually stand up on its own. I mean, it definitely couldn't, but I am really enjoying this. Every time I'm like, no, I don't want to touch it anymore. Then I build the next bit, and I'm like, oh, it can still go taller. Alright, so let's build this catapult and launch a big old boulder on top of this flower. I logged in, and spoiler alert, this is what I found. The rocket that Mumbo made had been launched all the way up and he's added glass as flames. We'll come back to this a bit later on after this time lapse, but this is just typical. I just wanted to make my play, and Mumbo just one-upped me before I could even finish doing it. Anyway, I said massive catapult. It's actually going to be a very small catapult, because if I made a huge one, it would disturb the balance of my base and would probably topple over. So I tried my best to animate this. It didn't really work out well, but you can see I built the catapult down, and now I've built the catapult up, and now I'm going to move that boulder over the top of the base where the lasers are. So imagine that. I've built it down, it's launched now, and now there's me building the frames for the boulders to go over. So you can see that I haven't just built a catapult and it's gone over. I've built the actual rock in flight. You can see going, whoa, straight over the top. And then it landed on the flower and squished it there. It's got the same palette and everything. So from this angle, it actually looks like it. If you can imagine, the catapult has flown it over, and here is the trajectory of the actual catapult boulder rock thing anyway. So it goes straight over through each of these frames and then goes a kasplat. Part 2 of my 3-part plan is complete. We catapulted a rock all the way over here to land on Scar's flower. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure he's going to notice. The boulder wasn't that big, but he should at least notice that it's been squished a little bit. And the most important thing is it's been knocked down a couple of blocks. So now that is taller than this thing here. So that was part 2, which didn't take long at all. But when I logged on to make this catapult, we noticed something else. And that is that Mumbo has launched his rocket. And upon closer inspection, it turns out my dastardly scheme didn't work one little bit. It turns out, guys, I have no idea what slime block machines do. I don't know how flying machines work. I don't know how slime blocks work. It took off the wing. It's taken off just one little part of the wing, and then the rest of the rocket just went up without it. And now I'm stuck in here. It also looks like it took off the end of the crane here, as I'm pretty sure this... Yeah, okay, so the slime block didn't care. It just attached itself to this and brought it with it. So my scheme to prevent this from reaching build height, which this is at, failed. It is at 256. Mumbo is at build height, and technically it works because he's connected it with the smoke. But I gotta say, this is pretty vulnerable. This looks like it's gonna be easy to bring this back down to Earth. You can't just launch a rocket and win the build off. I'm afraid that's not how it works. I'll be honest, I don't know how you win the build off, but this ain't it, Chief. This ain't it. I have no idea what to do about this right now, so I think I'm gonna have to leave the rocket as it is, and we'll think of something for the next episode, potentially. Who knows? This thing is moving so fast because I built this and then the rocket was launched. But we need to enact our 3rd part of the plan. Now, you'll see that I've left this laser attacking my building, but I've removed the magma blocks altogether. That's because I've got a pretty good plan of what to do. So, what I've got here is a bunch of iron blocks, and this is the closest thing I could find to a reflective surface. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to redirect this laser beam up at the top of Iskal's tower. The laser hits this barrier and will get reflected up to Iskal's tower. So to make sure we get the trajectory right, we need to work out what we're going to hit. So this is going to bounce from there all the way up to here. So we're going to get rid of this, and this is going to be where it hits. I think you can definitely say that things have escalated. I'm going to do exactly what Scar did. I'm going to take the top of this off, just for consistency reasons. We're going to take the top of this off, and we're going to put that somewhere around here. We'll do that later. We've got to connect this up to make the laser work. And for the most part, I think this is going to be a huge amount of guesswork. But to be honest with you, this laser doesn't make all that much sense. Lasers are meant to go directly straight, and that's it. Scar's laser seems to just curve as and when it pleases, so I don't think I need to worry too much as long as these two connect up in some capacity. But I definitely didn't bring enough stained glass, that's for sure. I think I've got that a bit wrong. No, it doesn't look too bad. I need to fix this up. If I can get this looking just a little bit straighter, but I mean, look at Scar's. His has a huge bend in it here, so I don't think it matters too much. However, we will try and make this look at least a little bit more tidy. There we go. This was a very easy way to bring this down a notch. There we go. So it goes, the laser goes all the way over here, and mine is a lot less thick than this one. Mine's very thin. So what I'm thinking is that, you know, the reflection of this has made the beam slightly weaker. And that has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that I'm running out of red stained glass. Absolutely nothing. I'm just going to say the reflection is a little bit weaker. Yep. This iron golem in my house is really, really annoying. I've got to get rid of him. Okay, he definitely can't reach me. There we go. Finally, some space in this house. A lot of you have been asking me to do the interior to this house, but you have no idea how much of a challenge that would be. It's such a mess. It's so thin in here that, I mean, I could do something in here at least, but when you get past that point there, it starts getting really messy to the point where I think it doesn't even fully connect on the inside. I'm not too sure. We'll add some magma blocks here and the laser beam. And there we go. Exactly the same situation that Scar left us in has now left Iskall in the same predicament. So now all there is left to do is to put the post in the ground, and then the 3-part plan that took me literally all day will be complete. And we're going to actually put this in the top of Sahara here. And then, boom. There we go. So it's flown off the edge and landed straight on top of Sahara in Hermitville. And my goodness, did this take a huge amount of time. In the space of just one episode, we've taken Scar's laser, redirected it at Iskall's. Iskall built taller than us. We built the tallest, and Mumbo fired his rocket somewhere in the middle of it. My thing didn't. Oh, this is really escalating quite a lot. And now that Mumbo's at sky limit, I'm not sure what... I don't have the time right now to build my base all the way up to sky limit. It takes a huge amount of time and resources just to build it up a few blocks at a time. I've got to do this properly. But this building is going to look actually phenomenal when it reaches up here. We now have an indication of where the top is. But I have a feeling that Mumbo's definitely not going to get away with this, right? Like, it's too easy. It's too easy. You've got to work to win this build-off. Not entirely sure how you win this build-off yet, but we're going to find out. But speaking of Sahara, as we've got here, I actually want to head back into the main hermit land, because boy oh boy, have I had enough of the build-off for today. We're now in second place after Mumbo's fired his rocket. But this is... oh, I'm really enjoying this. Either way, we need to head back to the old lands. I can't help but feel that we didn't make it quite clear enough in the last episode. Yes, Sahara is in beta. However, it does work. I saw so many people joking about Sahara not being open. It is open. It works. This is such a huge feat of Minecraft technology. I don't fully understand it, but all of this is genius. Like, making a store like this that works the way it does is absolutely incredible. So I want to just check that this works, and this being open is never a good sign. So oh, there's a book here. Maybe I should read my own book. Customer review from Rendog. Explosive start. Got slapped. 5 out of 5 for design. Yes. Quality of good. 5 out of 5. Delivery time was bad. Customer service was bad. Ooh, health and safety was terrible. Food and comfort bad. Yeah, wood shop again. Brilliant. Well, that's all we need to know. So hopefully I can get this to work. If it doesn't work, I'm going to be onto the tech boys. So all we got to do, of course, I'm going to be buying some rockets because I always need some rockets. So there's sea lanterns now. So we're going to add more and more stock into here as we go along. So the number of items in here indicates the stock level. So we have 22 stacks of sea lanterns. We have 5 stacks of golden carrots. We've got lots of stacks of ice. It depends on it. It's very, very clever. So, right, let's order 1 lot of rockets. So the rocket went in the system. This should go on any second now. There we go. And then we need it to... Oh, this is... Yeah, the time waited on here. So one of the things we're definitely going to improve with Sahara is your entertainment while you wait. And here's where the big old music disc can come in handy. We take a jukebox and we play this. Waiting for customer to confirm order. Confirm. And now we wait. I bet that the song's gonna run out before I get my order. I can feel it. It's definitely on its way though. We need better feedback. There's lots of things to improve, which is why this is only in beta, but there it is. There are my items. I wish that the customer could see this part of it. That would be really cool. That's something we didn't really think of. The customer being able to see everything. But that was the problem with having the warehouse all the way over here. Yeah, I didn't think that through. So there goes in the item. And then what we do is we come back down. It should. There we go. So let's make sure my inventory is empty. We take the fireworks out. It pushes it. It falls back in. And then there should be a receipt here that says rockets 1 diamond. And then I pay, which I'm going to do. Boom. We've actually made 14 diamonds. That's really cool. So, it may be in beta, but I have just demonstrated that the system fully works. There's just a lot of improvements that need to be made before we can really call it finished. For a start, we're not stocking nearly enough stuff in here. Just going to cover this up because I don't have any white concrete. But you can see that the actual shop works and people can come here and buy things. They can make slightly bigger orders and everything. I'm not going to do that because I want other people to spend diamonds on their shop, not me. But you can see that this is really, really clever. And that brings me on to the final thing that I want to do for today, which is start stocking some items. And I'm afraid that I'm going to have to do that off camera because I think I've just run out of time for today. So I will be gathering some gravel all of tonight, probably while you're watching this very video. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everyone. It's still... Goodbye. Thank you very much for watching.